tourism industry here in Australia. 5. 35,000 people wanted to get the dream job, so when Ben got it, everybody wanted to know about him. He did a 10-minute interview on television in the United States, and people in 140 countries watched it. He was big news.
Now to e-readers. Let me tell you about the new Amazon Kindle 3. They're calling it the future of e-reading and the best product on the market. It is 15% lighter than Kindle 2. It is also smaller and more comfortable than the previous model. In fact, it is pocket-sized, which means you can carry it anywhere. Take it to the beach with you. You can easily read it in strong sunlight. You can also read more of your favorite newspapers with the Kindle 3. There are now 130 newspapers available. There are an amazing 11,000 blog feeds available too. And if that's not enough reading material, there are now 400,000 books to choose from as well. Kindle storage has doubled to 4 gigabytes for up to 3,500 books. And if that doesn't sound good enough, the price of the Wi-Fi model is currently £109, much cheaper than anything else on the market. Favorite newspapers with the Kindle 3. There are now 130 newspapers available. There are an amazing 11,000 blog feeds available too. And if that's not enough reading material, there are now 400,000 books to choose from as well. Kindle storage has doubled to 4 gigabytes for up to 3,500 books. And if that doesn't sound good enough, the price of the Wi-Fi model is currently £109, much cheaper than anything else on the market.
Pounds. 109 pounds. Why didn't Nina climb Everest between June and September? It's too windy, it's too cold, it's too stormy. What's wrong with Nina? She was preparing for the climb, running and walking and running. Why did Nina think of the hot food of the trip? Tastes very good, because of about it's better to me. What helped me when she was tired? The energy for the team. A cup of tea a day of 10. What does Nina think of her experience? Thing that she ever done? It taught her about the problems on the Everest. It's made her stronger. She made music.
Hi, and in today's final program in our series called Adventures Around the World, I'm happy to welcome Nina Balding. Nina's just arrived in the studio, and she's going to tell us about her experience of climbing Mount Everest and how she prepared for it. At nearly 9,000 meters, it's the tallest mountain in the world, and thousands of people try to climb it each year. Nina, thanks for joining us.
Thanks. Great to be here.
Now, it sounds like you had an amazing trip, Nina. First, can you tell us why you climbed Everest at this time of the year?
Hi. Yes, well, we set off at the beginning of March, but didn't start climbing until April. It's best to climb the mountain during April and May. In winter, the low temperatures and strong winds make it much more difficult. And between June and September, there are often dangerous storms.
And how did you begin to prepare for the climb?
Well, of course, the first thing is to be very fit. If you're fit, you find it easier to breathe on Everest. I trained for about 12 months before I went. I used to run for an hour every day with a heavy rucksack, and I did weight training. If you can, you should also climb other mountains to get some experience.
And you came back last week. Do you still feel fit at the moment?
Yes, I do, but I lost a lot of weight while I was on Everest. That's quite normal. In fact, I was told to eat a lot before I left so that I would be heavier during the climb.
And did you carry food with you?
Yes, you have to eat all the time. The problem is, when you're climbing, you often don't want to eat. We took a lot of nuts, biscuits, and chocolate. When we weren't climbing, we cooked meals that we had taken with us. You know, prepared meals in plastic bags that you put in boiling water. They're not very tasty. We also had to melt snow and ice to drink.
What special clothes did you need for the trip?
Lots. Although May is a good month, it can still be cold. One day it was minus 15 degrees. You can't imagine how cold that is. However, I wore strong boots for the snow and ice, and I had 5 pairs of socks. The pants and jackets I took were light, but they kept me very warm. I wore them in my sleeping bag because it was the best way to dry them at the end of the day. I also bought really good sunglasses and goggles to protect my eyes.
Where did you begin the climb?
We started the climb at a place called Base Camp. We stayed there for 4 weeks so that we could get used to the extreme conditions. At first, we all found it difficult to breathe because the air was very thin. I got a lot of headache and didn't feel very well.
And I know you don't like the cold. Was that very difficult for you?
Yes, it was. When the temperature of the body falls, you just want to sleep. But I knew that was dangerous. Some days I just wanted to stay in the tent with a cup of tea, but I was in a good team. They had a lot of energy, and that helped me a lot.
Great. So now that you're home, what was the best thing about the trip for you?
Well, it was always my dream to climb Everest, so I'm very happy I've done it. But the best thing is that it's made me a stronger person.
And I have to ask you, Nina, would you do it again?
I'm not so sure. I know I've done it, but I think that too many people are climbing Everest at the same time. A mountain should be a quiet place, but it was very busy.
Thanks, Nina. It's been
The program describes a problem that may not even exist, that is easy to detect immediately, that can cause a lot of damage that is relevant to the present day. People who arrived in New Zealand needed a mammal species. Today could one accidentally introduce the brush-tailed possum with them, look for the new species. Further research brought our European species for the possum have a pollution than the times greater than the human pollution are most common when it comes to a biodiversity suffer from disease they cause by innovation of science include plants and animals program.
Hello, welcome to In Our Nature. In our first program, we're going to take a fresh look at the field known as bioinvasion science. Sounds scary, but what exactly is it? Here with us is Pippa Cobcroft, an expert in this field. Pippa, could you explain?
Of course. Bioinvasion science is the study of plants and animals that end up living in regions where they were not originally living before. Now, this can be a natural process, like when the wind blows a seed of a plant to a new island. But 9 times out of 10, the causes are man-made. And whether moving species to new areas is intentional or purely accidental, the results are sometimes devastating.
Could you give us an example, Pippa?
Sure. When the first European settlers arrived in New Zealand in the 19th century, and they brought with them a cute little animal called the brush-tailed possum from Australia. The problem was that there were no native mammals in New Zealand that they could use for meat or fur. The possum tasted good and had a fine coat of fur, so they introduced it to New Zealand. At first, there were just a few of these adorable creatures on the islands. In less than 130 years, however, the population had reached 70 million. And even now, after considerable efforts to eradicate them, they are still outnumbering humans by about 10 to 1. The possum had gone from being a valuable source of food and warmth to being a major pest, responsible for causing ecological disaster for some of New Zealand's native species and for spreading disease in farm animals.
And is it always humans that introduce these bioinvaders?
Invasive species may be transported by the wind, the ocean currents, or by natural forces such as climate change, which make them migrate to find new habitats. But yes, Jonathan, by far the biggest contributor to the phenomenon are humans, either introducing the foreign species accidentally on board ships and planes, or deliberately, such as when beautiful flowers from other countries are grown in people's gardens.
However, some people are rethinking things, aren't they, and believe that when we look at invasive species from a human perspective, we see it the wrong way round. How about seeing it from the animal's point of view?
Indeed. Invaders plan their attack and have a reason for doing so. These animals, through no fault of their own, find themselves on board a ship headed for a new continent, or trapped in someone's fruit salad box on board a plane. They're not invaders, they've been abducted.
In fact, it's our own fault that we have these problems, and it's up to us to manage them. Not only are humans the cause of the problem, some would say that we are also the #1 invasive species of the whole natural world.
Yes, humans started out in Africa, but we have invaded almost every part of this planet. And we have caused appalling damage to ecosystems and natural resources wherever we go. Hundreds of species have become extinct because of our global expansion.
Are invasive species unnatural? Are they any worse than native species? And what can we do about it? Join us after the ad break to find out.
Today we're going to be taking a tram tour through part of the Everglades National Park. Quite probably we'll be seeing a number of crocodiles sunning themselves by the side of the water, or poking their heads up through the water. Needless to say, we will not be getting off the tram at any time until we leave the area because of the danger posed by the crocodiles. By the way, you've probably heard of the expression, crying crocodile tears. It is common to say that someone is crying crocodile tears when he or she is pretending to be sad or full of regret. Crocodiles always appear to have tears in their eyes, but they are not crying because of sadness or even pretended sadness. Instead, a crocodile uses its tear ducts to get rid of extra salt from its body. A crocodile does not sweat the same way that humans do, and must get rid of extra salt through tears. So if you see a crying crocodile, do not think that it's feeling sad. It is basically sweating through its eyes. Look, over there on the right. There are 2 large crocodiles on the water's edge, right next to the fallen trees. You can get out your cameras and take pictures from here on the tram, but no, you cannot get off the tram to get any closer. Today we're going to be taking a tram tour through part of the Everglades National Park. Quite probably we'll be seeing a number of crocodiles sunning themselves by the side of the water, or poking their heads up through the water. Needless to say, we will will not be getting off the tram at any time until we leave the area because of the danger posed by the crocodiles. By the way, you've probably heard of the expression, crying crocodile tears. It is common to say that someone is crying crocodile tears when he or she is pretending to be sad or full of regret. Crocodiles always appear to have tears in their eyes, but they are not crying because of sadness or even pretended sadness. Instead, a crocodile uses its tear ducts to get rid of extra salt from its body. A crocodile does not sweat the same way that humans do and must get rid of extra salt through tears. So if you see a crying crocodile, do not think that it's feeling sad. It is basically sweating through its eyes. Look, over there on the right. There are two large crocodiles on the water's edge, right next to the fallen trees. You can get out your cameras and take pictures from here on the tram, but no, you cannot get off the tram to get any closer. Not think that it's feeling sad. It is basically sweating through its eyes. Look, over there on the right. There are two large crocodiles on the water's edge, right next to the fallen trees. You can get out your cameras and take pictures from here on the tram, but no, you cannot get off the tram to get any closer.
Okay, routine is complete. Hi Marco, how are you? I'm fine. I started my new job yesterday. I'm still looking for an apartment, but it's difficult to find a good one. My hotel is lovely, but Shanghai is great. When I went to Yojan Garden yesterday, it was beautiful. Do you and Sophie want to visit me after I found my apartment right soon? Hi, Tracy. Glad Shanghai is good. I saw your mom and dad a few days ago. They said you are very tired. You were very tired. Yes, we would love to visit you. John Train is good. How is the weather there? Melbourne is very hot. Of course, would love finding your apartment. Is in China. Elmore is looking for an apartment. Tracy. Wait, maybe. Okay. The carrot is one of the most popular vegetables in the world. It originated in Afghanistan many thousands of years ago. We can see from ancient Egyptian temple drawings The 1000 BS that people ate the purple variety of carrots in the middle. It was the Romans who introduced white and purple varieties into Europe. Did you know that the carrots comes in many different colors? White, purple, yellow, and even black. We often associate carrots with the color orange, but carrots were probably purple originally. It was the Dutch who produced the orange carrot. Orange was the color of royal house, and the orange color associated with Dutch independence. The variety of carrot that is most eaten in Europe today, the orange carrot is one of the most important vegetables in Western coast, appearing in salads, roast dinner, and even cake. My favorite carrot dish is orange and carrot soup. It is very simple. A little olive oil, vegetable stock, a glass of orange juice, and of course orange carrot. It doesn't take much time to cook, around 20 minutes. First cook the carrots, and then puretate flavor just of adding salt, pepper, and a sprinkle of Parmesan cheese. The carrot came from Afghanistan and was introduced are shown that people eat purple carrots, while the orange carrot are used in cousin. Many white, purple, yellow, and one carrot to make orange and carrot soup, you need half an hour cooking time. Oh, Dios. A ver. Help people cover. Our because it's important to remain politically and doesn't not accept unconditional realize individual. The horrific experience how long for the medical staff stay in refugees camps. National Peace Award. Años for the consumption positive resources are regular medical start 1 month, half a year, 6 weeks. According to the information, why should people volunteer? They may. They can become paid members of staff. They can impress employers in the knowledge. They can gain useful skills to get paid work in the future. Which of the following can apply to work? Nurse who respect people for a respect one nature, medport, medical. Right today. Doesn't think that online social life stop people from real life. Okay. I couldn't disagree more than the previous attraction to ignore to the forming has been great. Absolutely and the because it's so informable that it's being open for a loving community that respect people organization to the real world because you can only include in each tweet communication and more concise on the point. Today's important today's word to information for in a real meeting about privacy and concern about privacy limitations. I don't agree this is media. upright receiving invitations. Please show me permission. Stay receiving the privacy. To think How much free? The will just suggest. We sister secrets. That's my vision. I see this as an illusion. But the previous writers I read present. So much so it's important anything you put up that you think. So important, like I recommend a professional working. I think getting the qualification is great. Find jobs. She doesn't like. Can agree with the inclusion media communications. Mother with everything. I think my friend working. First, my newsletters are talking. It's great. Sharing conversation. Ideas of her friends, and it's not true that young people never socialize. But other which is that young people whether or not. A lot more regulation is needed to protect them. Everyone, innovation, safe, professional, professional. Says that his media keeping has pretty weird. Media. With his friends. Many very safe 25% winter cannot. She thought it was a statement. Folks driven tiempo. Mayors ahora safe 25 has the only record my boyfriend is like follow yourself as safe worry is too late. I didn't know the man was old she was embarrassed. The whole game of she the other worst. She appeared in meetings the morphiest, most popular. We done exorcism. Did you play tennis? He can. Have you ever been to Hawaii? I have seen this place before. He come to. He would if she saves. She saves money. She will go on holiday. He would come to show tomorrow, but it's not true. If she saves enough money, she will go on holiday without asking me. My house is very near. Don't worry. You're finding. You'll find. You'll found. You'll find. You're fine. You'll find it buried. Can you tell me where is it? The bank? Is the bank? Where it is the bank? We is going. We go camping. We go camping if it's nice. If it's nice this week. Again. Okay. You seen ask if I wouldn't fail, I would be in the same profession. no deberías de ver. No. She she was asked to ask the manager as a manager for could we have will have we seen the weather? He couldn't have all of that food. He would be able to eat it all. Surely she can be studying at 4 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, see, he he said he didn't. He hadn't. Beyond could be seen alive together. He might come, but I'm not sure if she saved enough money. She goes on holidays with us in May. Iríamos. My house is very near. Don't worry. My house. Don't worry. You're like Contraras. You are found. You are finding your medicine. And you tell me where it is. Can you tell me where is it, the bank? You go get it. We will go everywhere. If it's nice, this weekend. If you wouldn't fail my exams, if I wouldn't fail my exams last year, if I had it, I would be in the same class as you. If you shouldn't have symptoms, you should follow it. The teacher wasn't. She was asked to act for manager for the department. Though have you seen what we've seen? She couldn't. How can I get to the museum? ¿Qué campeona Ara Copland? Their daughter's name is Story. Amy? Her guitar when she was 13. What's your father? Your father, like, why do you always eat eggs for breakfast? Because I love them. I love it. Because I love it. And milk. people in the school learn to use computer. How are you? I'm going to ask for advice. Tokyo is the biggest city I've ever lived in. It's the most big city. It's biggest. It's the biggest. It's the most big city. It's a beautiful wild. It's beautiful, wild and exciting place. And he would apply for the job. I laughed and cried while I watching the film. He would apply for the job if he spoke German. However, when cuando hable I have never had at the beginning if people were nevertheless. First of all, if the people nevertheless, we kept looking over the shoulder as soon as he was walking along the street. Are you sure? He had made an error. The pure animal was so scared that quickly wildly he put him really down swelling okay, Joe. Quietly opened the door. I have never had to bumpy flight in my life. Bumpy. And this pianist making half original had ideas on becoming a chef. McCarthy changed his career that when played him piano. Play him piano card. Was confused. secured of longer department. Apartment. You are please on Junior. London is not the first one in pennies because it's issued. Albanians commercial with a ring placing piano sonata without short detail. However, this is a German one was to no problem, meaning winning the Olympian prize, and then went to graduate from prestigious Royal College of Music in London. He had to overcome some big to achieve this, including the following tools. McCarthy is a member of a pretty the progress that his parents made, and Julie believed that was a part of him for an obligation, and they would secure them from some of the things people said he couldn't have done. Nicholas was one of the first among his peers to ride a bike after he adapted to put both brake lifts on the left-hand side. Make Mr. McCarthy is not fair. Following the petition, the Silver Fairwell became famous for performing, and he created an equally better movement combination that allowed him to play shorts previously impossible for any pianist. Pues yo creo que sí. Tokyo is the most biggest position. lo reprobé.